Welcome in everyone, James here, and I am continuing this little series on guild bosses, and in this one I am talking about Bakunawa. I don't know if that's how you say it, but this one has two forms. In this form it is resistant to expose, and in its other form it is vulnerable to expose. You can get it to transform by putting acid on it a bunch of times, something like that. And the best class to use against this boss is rogue class with Kira. So this is my rogue side build. It's all hero charms, 19 hero charms, and they are all rogue type, and it's got one exposed chance charm on it. And as ever, I am using my low level guild boss weapon, but this time I'm not using the Maverick Gauntlet. I am using the Dark Gauntlet because Kira is the rogue beast type hero. She is dark type, so she is going to benefit an extra 30% damage from using the Dark Gauntlet, and Queen Critter is there to help gain rage from the Dark Gauntlet. And if you happen to have Kira at max stars, she will get an extra 30% chance to crit. So all of this in conjunction with each other makes Kira the best hero to use for beast type guild bosses. It doesn't actually say distribute on her rage, but it does distribute, and her stats are exactly the same as Petra. So if you have a mage build and you don't have a rogue build, you can use Petra as well, but you don't get any crit chance boost or anything like that from using Petra, so it's not as easy to score as high with her, and that's what makes Kira better for this boss. And then going into the fight, I have brought purple power potions. They charge rage and base power, and the reason I've brought those is because of round 3. But for the first 2 rounds I am just using them to get a rage off as quickly as possible, because the boss is incredibly squishy in those first 2 rounds. So round 1 and round 2 exactly the same with pop-up potion. Swing the weapon a couple of times because I can, and then using a Kira rage power to start dealing damage early on. And then round 3, because my Queen Critter is level 70, I had to get a little bit creative. Now I can get away with using a base power on round 3, okay, but the Dark Gauntlet doesn't fill rage up from 1 rage power. You need to punch once. Every single time you use Critter to fill rage, you need to punch once as well. So what I'm doing is I'm letting the boss charge up its power so it can use its power against me to finish charging the rage, because it's not strong enough for me to punch it on round 3. And even though that just took 4 turns, it'll all work out in the end. But that is the only way that I could figure out to finish charging rage on round 3 and still use a level 70 Queen Critter. If your critter is level 60, then it might look a little bit different to this, because she will be a lot weaker. On round 4, you can punch once and then use a Critter rage power, so you can end this in 1 turn, and Critter will probably land exposed as well. That exposed chance that I have on the armor is doing a lot of work to help Critter here, so it is definitely useful. On round 5, you can punch once as well, inflict expose while you charge up Critter's base, and then use Queen Critter to finish charging the rage. And then I'm going to swing the weapon a couple of times to charge up Queen Critter's base power a little bit for the next turn. And what I'm trying to do is make up for all those turns that I used in round 3. So round 6, I'm going to end it in 1 turn. I've only got 3 turns left. So I'm going to swing once, punch once, use Queen Critter base power, and then rage. Now whether or not expose lands is complete RNG at this point, but what I'm wanting to do, my main goal here, is to get into round 7 with 2 turns left. If you can manage that, then everything's fine. because you can start punching here. You can inflict expose from your weapon, and it gives you a little bit more freedom to rack up some more points before you eventually finish this boss off with a Kira Rage Power. So even though it's a little bit more convoluted than I normally like, I like everything to be a bit more precise with the Maverick Gauntlet and stuff like that. This method, it works, but it can be a little bit sketchy depending on your RNG. And for this boss, I scored 31 million, which is not too bad considering the Kira is not as strong as a lot of the other distributors that I've been using in these videos, because she has stun on her rage. That is how I do it with level 70 Queen Critter. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I have been James B09. Good luck out there.